As we were heading towards 2003, the build-up of 2003, we were meeting here and there. Obasanjo was becoming too much agitated for this 2003. And so we governors, we were still united. Only 5 were with Obasanjo, actually. 16 of us were with Atiku's, were agitating that Atiku should run. This is not to suggest that we were being pushed by Atiku. It was Atiku had no role in our desire for him to run that time. But I had at a point a different view. So when the form for 2003 nomination form was bought in Mina by late Governor Kure, that nomination form was brought to my lodge by the ADC of Governor Kure. So we decided to share and divide ourselves into different parts of the country to go and fill those forms. We actually filled those forms. But when these forms were filled, at that time, few days to primaries, we were all converged here. I am one of those that believe that politics is not about the means justify the end. I'm one of those that believe that there's morality in politics. And I took this form. I collected them all. They all brought them to me. Then I took the form and took it to our principal. I said, sir, politics is not about everything. There's morality in politics. I said, this man picked you against all other things. Your peers, above your seniors, picked you and made you vice president. Lock this form in your... If it is God's will that you will be president of this country, you will be president. Don't be president under this circumstance. I know out there, if we go to the field, you win primaries, but don't be president under this atmosphere, under this circumstance. That was how this form did not see the light of the day. And I left his house that time. That time, there were meetings in the house. The Galina Abbas, the National Assembly people, all the governors, ministers that were pro him, people like Musa Godebe, many of them. The whole house, that house that is opposite the Supreme Court, I remember. So, and I sneaked out. Having told him that he should not run, I now sneaked out. I came to my lodge and invited the NTA because we were going for primaries the following day. I invited the NTA. I didn't discuss this with him. And I faced the NTA. I said, well, yesterday we met with our president and we all resolved as governors that we are going to support him for a second term. The whole idea that Atiku is going to run against him is not true. And I speak for him, I speak the minds of Atiku. He's not going to run. This. And it was network. That was how the tension of that convention came down. So, years after, Atiku has not become president. And it was becoming a burden to me. That I was the one of those that played the role that he should not run. And people are beginning to write in the papers that, look, at the best time of Atiku was 2003. The best time of... So I was beginning to feel guilty that I was one of those that scuttled that one. But not with the intention of depriving Atiku from being president. But from doing to ensuring that he did the right thing. Let him be president at, at a time that, it is right for everybody. Are you getting me? And he said, I agree with you, my governor. So, but nobody knows this type of, this story, And I don't think he also remembers it. But I believe it's so important that he should be able to remember. Because we fill the forms, myself, Governor Kure, we fill the forms. Because for me, I say he should play along with those that are putting pressure from whatever end for him to run. And it was believed that time that it was a way of exposing him to Obasanjo. So we told you he's a treacherous person. He wants to run against you. Because why was this form not bought in Abuja? Why was this form not bought in Yola? It was bought in Mina. An initial AA, not Atiku Abubakar. Are you getting me? And it was brought to us. People like Arishokwala, people like Adedebo, all of them in the Southwest, we fill the forms. They fill them for us, We fill all the forms, I brought out money, sent people, fill the forms. I got the forms, nomination forms of Atiku filled and brought back. Are you getting me? But I have been living, and I said at a point, maybe he will now be turning on his bed at and saying, it was Boni that got me out of this. Otherwise, I would have been president now. Because what people were writing. And for us that are around him, we say it will not happen. Particularly myself, I was not one of those. I said, if Atiku becomes president, or if he became president at that time, I will be the first beneficiary. But under this circumstance, I will not. See what God is doing in his life today. In the 33 years of Atiku's political life, he has never enjoyed the spontaneous support that he's getting across the country. In my state, is bipartisan. Is everywhere. The national consensus I was telling you about is coming up. So I am trusting that this is Atiku's time. So that is the issue. That is the point. So I am telling you that Obasanjo, 2003 was not Atiku's project. It was governor's project and other people within the system that wanted Obasanjo out. If you see the role of people like Galina Abba that time, because there were issues with the National House, with the House of Representatives that time, and that was why I said it was wrong for handlers of President Obasanjo for second term to begin to talk of his presidency or his second term in a time like January, February, March, because so much time was given for those that wanted to fight him to bring out their arsenals. And that was why the issue of impeachment was contemplated. And it was serious at a point. It was the role of leaders like General Gawan that saved the situation. Otherwise, we would have had our first experience of intensive process of impeaching a president in this country. And what brought about it? It was because he wanted to run for second term and started preparing for it much earlier. And what the issue of impeachment and other oppositions were all meant to distract him and to stop him, to make the presidency unattractive to him by this kind of moves, And this was what I wanted them to avoid. But they thought I was playing a game to slow them down so that Atiku could be prepared to run against him. The issue of corruption, the toga of corruption that was put on Atiku started in 2000 and 2001 towards the presumption that Obasanjo will leave in 2003. For whatever reason, people just felt that the easiest way to bring down a public office holder is to hang on him corruption. And that was how the media was started, they started using the media, even without shade of evidence. And let me tell you, I went to confirm, I went to Obasanjo 2019, after Atiku got primaries, to literally thank him. And I said, and I stayed in his hotel. You know, I was his guest, stayed in his hotel. We had breakfast, I stayed a day or two, a day. And I said, sir, we're all in the system with you. I knew you were really angry with my principal. I am happy as a Christian that you have forgiven him. And I am happy that you are towing the line of a statesman. But let me ask you, is this for real? What happened? Knowing how I knew the level of animosity, the level of quarrel, that today you are the one that is saying that you are supporting Atiku to be president. I say, what happened? You say, well, that is it. And he said, the international community, they are buying into this. They are buying into this. And I now asked him, what really was the problem? There's this issue of corruption. What is this? What is the problem? Do you know that Obasanjo could not tell me one single incident of corruption? He did not tell me that Atiku stole money from this, took it to this is it he did. But I challenged him. I said, sir, tell me, what is this issue of corruption about Atiku? So as far as I'm concerned, I have never come across any evidence that this is what is backing the claim of anybody that is saying that Atiku is corrupt. I've never come across it, honestly. And if you ask me, is Atiku corrupt? I can't tell you yes, no. I can't tell you yes, he's corrupt because I don't have evidence. But I can comfortably tell you no because I have not seen anything to suggest that he's corrupt. Are you getting me? So, but I stayed with Obasanjo one night, and honestly, he never confirmed to me that this is it, this is what he was talking about, this corruption. And I went purposely. You have forgiven this man now. You are supporting him now. But what of this corruption thing? Can you tell me? He never told me this. And because I would expect that so time he stole this, so time stole this, so time he stole this, so time he stole it. And you know the engine room of PDP from 1998 was Atiku at Bolingo Hotel. Did he win election? And the most powerful politician that time, at least a particular section of Cross River, was John Opa. And that was how they Atiku paired him with John and Opa. But what did Duke do in 2003? He threw away John Opa. He didn't even allow him to return as deputy. You know, he took a different person. And if you hear Duke's comments today and utterances, I mean, it's just unfair. It's unfair. And there are many. Atiku is not like, he's not the type. If you were there when we had the book presentation, I said he is a person that, even though he has the right of reply to certain things that are said against him or that are unfavorable to him, he has this attitude of, let's just ignore them. Just ignore them. But as time goes on, it becomes an issue for people to use against him, you know. But he has this pageant of not, you know, not offenses not put him off. Offenses don't make Atiku to lose his mind or to go crazy as to take the posture of a vengeful person. Offenses don't drive Atiku to lose his focus, to lose his disposition as a gentleman that he is. Offenses don't make Atiku to be destructive of somebody's character or relationship with him. You know, he is by his nature. If there's anything, he just withdraws. You know, but he's not on the shouting type. He's not on the combative. He's not that combative posture. He's not combative in his approach or in his relationship. If there are offenses, as a Christian at times, and as a born-again Christian, I tend to have a feeling that there are instances that you look in Atiku a life of a born-again Christian who is dead to offenses, who is dead to anger, who is dead to the treachery, dead to betrayal that are meted onto him.